Crafty crafters, welcome back. Day number 18 of 31 days of your scrapbooking Q&As. I am Lain Ehmann of layoutaday.com, and you can find resources and other goodies over at the blog at layoutaday.com. I have a podcast too. Did you know that? If you are just finding me on YouTube, head over to the blog. There's lots of fun stuff over there. Anyway, today's question comes from Lara Reed, who asks, do you edit your photos before you print them out and put them on the page? If so, what is your process? Any class suggestions for a simple photo editing process? What software do you use to edit your photos? I have Lightroom and PSE. Seems like all the layouts I see online have terrific photos, and it would take as long to edit the photos as it would to scrap them. I would like to make my photos look better before I print them out, but I also feel like my scrapbooking process has become too long and I am not getting as much done. Therein lies the rub, as they say, and sometimes we have to choose. Do we want fewer pages with great photos, or do we want more pages with okay photos? And sometimes we have to choose. My choice has always been to err on the side, not to err because it's not a mistake, but to veer towards the side of scrapbooking life just as it is, with red eyes and all. It goes back to my why and what I love about scrapbooking. And my why is to capture stories as they are, not as I want them to be, not looking 10 years younger and 10 pounds thinner, but life right now. And sometimes that means we have blurry photos. Sometimes that means somebody's got a little smudge on their face. Sometimes that means the orange in one person's shirt clashes with the green in somebody else's shirt. And sometimes that means I look like the bride of Frankenstein. And that is okay with me. I don't want an edited version of my life. I don't want the stylized version. I want life as it is. Now, I am not putting judgments on anyone who loves that editing process, because there are people who are first and foremost photographers, and that's their main way of expressing themselves. And they are going to spend as much time editing that photo to make it look as close to what they have their ideal in their mind as I would spend on the journaling. So it's just a choice. It's choice about what you want to do with your scrapbooking time. And given that we do have a limited amount of time, which is going to make you feel better? Are you going to feel better because you got more stories captured? Or are you going to get better or be happier because the pages you did get captured are closer to your idea of ideal? Now, that being said, and being said that the only editing I tend to do on my photos is cropping them, if that, there are things you can do to make your photography better. And number one is to get a better camera. Now, I was a firm believer that I didn't deserve a better camera until I became a better photographer. But everyone assured me that if I got a better camera, I would actually become a better photographer. And I have found that to be true. So I did upgrade a couple years ago to the Canon XSI, and it's the Digital Rebel. And it's kind of funny, it's called the Rebel when everybody has one, so it's not very rebellious to get one. But anyway, my photos got much, much better as I went to a better camera. So that's one thing you can do. Two is to play with the apps that you have on something like your iPhone. There are a lot of fun apps you can play with that apply the filter to the photo as soon as you take it or right afterwards. So you don't have to open up Photoshop, you don't have to mess around, you don't have to work with actions, which I have tried and have been unsuccessful. You don't have to worry about sharpening photos, playing with the light. You can do that all on a touch screen, which for me has been a godsend. And the resolution on the phone's photos is so good that oftentimes I can't tell if the photo was taken on my iPhone 4S or on my Digital Rebel. So as phones get better, we're going to see higher pixels and better resolution, and the photos themselves are going to be much better. So that's two things. One is to upgrade your camera. Two is to play with some of the apps that you can get, like Instagram and things like that on your mobile device. Three is to take a class. And I do have some suggestions for photography classes, because my idea is if I get it right the first time, then I don't have to go edit it afterwards. So as I learned more about my camera, as I learned more about framing what I saw through my viewfinder and through the lens, my photos naturally got better. I got better about lighting. I got better about all that stuff that I got right up front so I didn't have to take care of it on the back end. Does that make sense? So that is a huge time saver. So I do have a couple classes and resources to suggest for you. I'm going to link those up below this video at layoutaday.com/31-18 for 31-18. So you can check that out. There's also a couple great books from Ella, and I'll link those as well. So learn as much as you can about your camera. Spend your time there because that's an investment. If you never learn how to take great photos, you're always going to be trying to catch up on the other side of things and fix the photo, which is going to take more time. Another thing I wanted to mention is that trends come and go in photography and in photo editing just like they do in scrapbooking or clothing or anything else. For a while, about 5 years ago, when actions were really popular, you saw oversaturation on everything. It looked like everybody had a bad sunburn or had been hit by radioactivity, where the oranges were really orange and the brights were really bright, and it was like this color wash thing that looked kind of cool, but 10 years from now, it's going to look very dated. And that's, again, not what I want my photos. So be aware of the editing that you see that is more trend-based than actually making your photos look quote-unquote better. And I would also spend some time thinking about what it is that you feel is wrong with your photography, whether it's the lighting or people aren't close enough or you never catch them at the right time. We have a lot of great classes from past True Scraps about expressive photography, about action photography, about low light photography that I think you might find helpful. And again, I'll link some of those up below. So invest, teach a man to fish, and he'll fish for a lifetime. Give a man a fish, and he'll eat for a day, or something like that. Anyway, that is it. I'm signing out. We're getting a little goofy around here. Keep those questions coming. A couple people asked if there's still time for questions. Yes, keep them coming. Keep them coming. In fact, today's question that I answered was just submitted today. So that's it. Mwah, mwah, mwah. See you tomorrow.